Hey guys, this is Sandra Ayan, your home care provider. Let me see. So, this is a little weird because I got two monitors and I am trying to be able to talk to you guys on. I guess I have to, because the camera's over here. So we got to do this. I had to close up my windows and stuff. Anyways, I'm going to try to focus on this camera because, yeah. So, my name is Sandra Ayan and I'm your home care provider. This video is going to be in English and it's going to be for in-home supported services sick time. Now, I just went through the just to recap. Good morning, Brenda. I went just to recap on the sick leave, and it's pretty simple. Okay, they make it so complicated, you guys. I looked at some videos and I'm like, oh my goodness, you guys are just making this way too complicated. It just didn't. Let me see here if I can do this and move you guys over here. Oh my god, that's better. Yay. Let me make it big. Here we go. Okay, cool. Sweet. Now I can see what's going on. And I got my Netflix up here. Okay. So don't mind the stuff back there. I was trying to put on a little face. It's been a while since I had my hair like this, but that was cool. I was like, hey, why not? I got to do some cleaning. So I just like, oh, let me do some ponytails. Anyways, so I made a few videos on TikTok and I trying to explain or let you guys know that I was going to do some research on sick leave. Okay. So I went ahead and I was looking at my my YouTube channel. Let's see if this helps. No, it's too bright. Still too bright. I have to close the windows. I don't like being in the dark. I ran across a post on Facebook. Now I belong to several group chats for IHSS on Facebook, and there was one that I came across, and I mentioned, I hope this lady finds me because there's a lot of misinformation that they're putting on Facebook, and unfortunately, a lot of people, and not just on IHSS, but a lot of people, they go ahead and they believe it. Well, I'm the type of person. I'm an Aquarius. I'm the oldest of 9. I'm a king of clubs, and the highest is an ace of spades. So I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you guys because I want to let you know what it is why my thinking is the way it is. Okay. So I'm the type of person that you need to show me, explain it to me, and vice versa. I found that I do the same thing. I show, I explain, I say, give me some time, and we can. I'll show you. I'll show you. Um, Prove to you, and that's the type of person I am. So I think I need more coffee. This thing's like super blurry. When this young lady said she had 283 hours, and the fiscal year starts on July 1st and it ends on June 30th. Okay, that's a fiscal year. Sick leave hours were approved on July 1st 2018. It is now June 8th, 2024. Okay, so from 2018 to now 2024, 6 years later, they have authorized us. We started with 8 hours. Then they authorized us. Now it was six, and then it was 16, and then it became 24. So right now, home care providers that have met the requirements, and the requirements are you have to have worked 100 hours. In the past, it was 200 hours. In order for us to, when in 2018, it was 200 hours. Well, I was doing some research and I found that you have to have 100 hours. Okay. So if you start working, let's say today, let's say the 1st of June of 2024, you started working the 1st of June. I'll read the comment in a minute. 2024, because I get distracted and I'm all over the place. And this is very important. I kind of want to keep it on a timeline. I even wrote notes, whatever. If you started working June 1st, 2024, and you have, let's say, and we have to say 200 hours or more, okay? Because you need to meet a requirement of 100 hours in order to qualify for the sick leave, okay? Actually, no, it wouldn't even work because you have to have 100 hours, and then you also have to work an additional 200 hours or 60 days, whichever comes first. So for a new provider to be able to claim the sick leave hours of 24 hours, you would have had to start working, like, let's say abril, mayo, junio, let's say April. Why? Because you have to make the requirement of the 100 hours, and then you also have to make a requirement of 200 hours or 60 days. So whoever started, any providers that started working in April, they're not gonna, they might meet that criteria if they have more than, I want to say, 160 hours a month. Why? Because we can claim 70% of those 160 hours. And let me see what that 70% would be. So I'll take 160 times 0.7. They could claim up to 112 hours in a timesheet, and that's 15 days. So, yay, food. Thank you, son. I just found out this monitor doesn't have a camera, which was interesting. Well, at least I got the bowl that has more shrimp. He couldn't even wait. I don't want to be on live, Mom. Whatever. No, I'm okay. Yeah, let me have a Coke. Yeah, please. No, make it a squirt. So you have to meet those two requirements. You have to have 100 hours, and then after the 100 hours, you'll qualify. And the second requirement, it's either 200 hours or 60 days, whichever comes first. So not necessarily you would have to start working in April. It just depends. And that's what I've been trying to tell people, providers, recipients. Everyone's situation is unique. You are not like the next one. Not everybody can keep the red hair like I do until I tell them, hey, you can only wash your hair twice a week. Hey, you have to put this pomade on. And hey, you have to leave it on for 10, 15 minutes. But even their hair might catch differently. So what I'm trying to say is everyone is different. The requirements, plain and simple, to qualify for IHSS sick time is you have to work 100 hours. After that 100 hours, you have to work an additional 200 hours or have been a provider for 60 days. That's it. That's it. Thank you, son. Can I get a napkin too? Don't make it complicated. My problem is not meeting the requirements. So when I read this post from this young lady, and as I mentioned, I'm the type, show me, and I will look at it and analyze it and make my own decision. My problem was, thank you, was she's claiming she has 283 hours, which is the maximum. So that lets me know that she's taking care of someone 24/7. Okay. And then she says, once I submit my hours, I'm also going to submit my 24 hours of sick time. So that means the calculator time, 283 plus 24 hours. That means that if she submits 283 plus the 24 hours, she's actually going to be working 307 hours. And that is not possible. Why is it not possible? Well, going back to the rules, let me take these off. Going back to the rules, there are three different types of home care providers, okay? One is like me. I'm a regular home care provider. I could only work 264 hours a month, which is 66 hours a week. And mind you guys, even though I have 264, even though my cap is 264 hours a month to work, I could only max out because I have three different clients. I'm able to claim 65 hours and 53 minutes a week. Sometimes it's 65 hours and 57 minutes because I don't want to go over the hours. And on top of that, which reminds me, this young lady has 283 hours a month. That means if you divide 283 hours a month by 4, which is simplifying it, she can work 70 hours and 45 minutes for that particular client. Now, let's say she wants to go ahead and submit her hours. She cannot work more than 70 hours and 45 minutes for this client. So if she submits her 70 hours and 45 minutes for this client, and then she decides, well, I'm going to submit my 24 hours also. She's already violated because 24 divided by 4 is 6. Well, that doesn't really apply. She can claim the 24 hours in 1 week, take 3 days, 8 hours a day, or I don't know, 9 hours or whatever it is. She can't claim the 24 hours in 1 day because we only have, and I should probably actually could because we have 24 hours in 1 day, but that doesn't make any sense because everything has to be accounted for. For example, I was working at one point, and I can't remember the year, but I had 6 clients at the time, and I was working 16, 17 hours, sometimes 18 hours. And that included travel because I got paid for travel. So there's 24 hours in a day and I worked 18 hours a day. That means that I had 6 hours left, for Sandra to do whatever Sandra wants to do. And that was acceptable. It has to make sense because I started at, let's just say, I don't know, 6:00 in the morning, and I went to my first recipient, and then I finished with them, 2, 3, 4 hours. I don't remember. Then I traveled for another hour to the next recipient. I'm sorry, 30 minutes to the next recipient. And then I worked 2, 3, 4 hours. And then I traveled, and then I went to the next recipient and I traveled. And at the end of the day, I was almost done, like around 11, sometimes midnight. So I had 6 hours left. That's an 18-hour shift. And they paid me for my 18-hour shift. And they didn't pay me overtime or regular time until I completed 160 hours a month. So every week, as soon as I hit that 40-hour mark, anything above 40 hours was all overtime. Okay. So I had a young lady that claimed 25 hours and 30 minutes on her timesheet, and she couldn't understand why why it wasn't accepting. And I said, well, hell, sorry. I want to know, what did you do? Because I'm always missing time in the day. So if you found an extra hour and a half, let me know and I can utilize that. And she goes, oh my God, I didn't know. She had 2 days left to claim 53 hours. You can't do that. So for her, in her case, it was totally different. And she was able to claim the 23 hours and 45 minutes because I like that cushion. And I explained to her, tell me what you did. Tell me where did you go? Tell me how long it took. Tell me. So then both of us, we got together and we made a puzzle, and she claimed 23 hours and 45 minutes on her time sheet, and she got paid for it. So I'm not saying that this particular young lady can claim 24 hours in a day. She probably could because there's only 24 hours in a day, but she has to explain it. Okay. So the criterias for you to qualify for sick leave on a timely manner to be able to claim it this month are very specific, and some may be able to be done, but not all of them. Okay. Because our fiscal year ends the 30th of June. Let me read this comment. Lonnie. Oh, I have my glasses right here. Duh. Hi, I have a question about it. Can you claim sick pay twice? No, that's double dipping. For IHSS, I just claimed 8 hours for this week and want to claim 8 hours for last month. Is that fraud? If you claimed 8 hours for this week, that's fine. If you qualify, if you've done the criteria and you qualify, because it literally rolls over. If you want to claim another 8 hours next week, you can claim another 8 hours next week. And now you got 16, and I believe we got 24. So if the next week you want to claim another 8 hours, you can claim another 8 hours. What I want you to remember, Lonnie, is that everyone is unique. Okay. In my previous videos, I explained that we as providers, employees, have a right like the employers do. Okay. But for me, the relationship that I have with my employer is more important, because even though there are bosses, it doesn't stop them from being human. And then we're taking care of them, and we're giving them, my son just brought me some food, and because I'm hungry, and then, soda. This is a relationship I have with my son, of course. But if my son is good to me because he's 18 years already, and he's an adult, excuse me, and I want to be nice to him, I think I'll keep him housed under my roof because he doesn't have a job. He's legal. He's nice to me. I'll be nice to him. And that's the relationship you guys have to have with your employers. Is it fraud? It's not fraud because you're taking that time off. So the time that you don't work, that you want to put in as sick leave, you put it in. But there's two things here. Are you really, really taking that time off? And this is where I say that the relationship that you have with your employer, like me, for instance, I was just their power of attorney. I was not working, 264 hours a month. I was working more than that. I didn't make money, never made money off of my clients, because it was never enough, especially the ones that are living with me. They are living under my roof, literally. I've never done this for money. Money's good, don't get me wrong, which is why I charge you guys for my knowledge. I think it's fair. The other thing is also, when you need assistance with your timesheets, you want to do them the right way, or do you want to do them correctly? And correctly yields more money. And that's why I said every case is an individual. Some people work like me for just, clients, and I come and I go. And you know what? Today I don't feel like working. So I'm going to call, I don't know, let's just say Jose and say, hey, Jose, I'm not working today. Or I'll tell him the day before and I'll say, I don't want to work today. I'm going to claim my 8 hours of sick leave. And then Jose's like, Jose has the right to tell me, he can't tell me anything because I've already notified him. I don't need to bring Jose a doctor's note. I don't need to have an explanation. All I have to tell him is, hey, Jose, I'm not coming in today. Tomorrow, I'm sorry, because I like to give a heads up. I like to tell people what's going on. But I didn't even have to do that. I could call him in the morning and I can say, hey, I don't want to go to work today. I'm gonna find yourself a backup provider. So if this young lady gets 70 hours and 45 minutes a week, and then on top of that, she's going to add on an extra 24 hours in that month. It doesn't, she's not abiding by the hours that are allowed per that recipient. Okay. She's going above and beyond the 24 hours. What she can do is take 283 hours, and here we go, because I don't want to think. 283 hours minus the 24 hours that she's going to claim for sick leave. What she can do is she can work 259 hours and her 24 hours of sick leave. That would accumulate the 283 hours. But if she claims the 259 hours and doesn't claim her sick leave, and a backup provider comes in and takes care of her recipient, then she goes ahead and she ends up submitting her hours. She cannot make up those hours. She cannot make up the hours for the remaining 24 hours and get paid. She cannot double dip. And I think that's what you were asking me. Double dipping. So she's going to get paid for her hours that she's worked. She's going to get paid for the sick leave hours. And then she wants to tack on another 24 hours to work. You can't do that. How do I know that? Because I made you guys, I've been on TikTok, and I much more prefer YouTube, because I can talk to you guys and communicate, and TikTok puts me on a 10-minute. It's just no. So I went to the county and I asked them, the supervisors. I said, I have a question. A lot of them knew who I was. And they're like, oh, it's you. And I'm like, yeah, I need some help. I have a young lady that's saying that she can work 283 hours and then claim her 24 hours. And then she won't get a violation. And that's what we're afraid of. We're afraid of the violations. We're afraid that, because violation number 1 is just a warning. Violation number 2, they make you sign a paper that says, I know how to do my timesheets now. We're slap in the hand. We're going to forgive you. Then they forgive that violation, but they have paperwork. It's the county. They got to cover themselves. They'll give you a second violation. And when we make another mistake, it'll be a second violation when you get back to your, sorry, I'm trying. Okay. Third violation suspends you for 90 days, and then you're on thin ice for a whole year, which is usually the people that need help that come to me and they're like, Sandra, I need some help. I need some help, please, please. And for a whole year, they're on thin ice. They either have me, I teach them how to do them correctly so they can have, if you have more than 160 hours, which we're in LA County, and that's what I'm going to use. We're getting paid $8, and we're getting paid $18 an hour. Orange County, LA County, we get paid $18 an hour for our regular time. That's the first 160 hours, which is 2,880. Okay, and then you have overtime at $27 an hour. And that's what I mean by doing it correctly. I don't emphasize too much on the money aspect, because there's a lot of people out there that, might not like this or not. But the reality is the first 160 hours is at $18 an hour in LA County. And then even if you have 1 hour, You have 161 hours a month. 1 hour would be at $27 an hour. And if you have travel, even travel falls under overtime. So all of my travel that I do runs at $27 an hour, you guys. That's how much I get paid for traveling. So if you multiply 27 times 7, because it's 7 hours a week maximum, you're talking about $189 every week for gas. So when I went to the county, I told them, I said, hey, tell me there. And they're like, no, that's not right. That's not right. And I said, okay, cool. I'm going to go home and I'm going to do a video. But then, like right now, you guys just caught me in the middle of drinking my coffee, my soda, I want a soda, at least one a day. My makeup's not even done. At this point, you guys, I really don't care what you guys see when you look at me. I want you guys to hear what I have to say. Why? Because what I have to say is important. So is it committing fraud for you, Ms. Lonnie? It depends on your situation. It depends on who you're taking care of. And it's not about it being fraud or not fraud. If you take the time off, then you go ahead and you claim it. But in my opinion, if you're already, there's over 672 hours in a month. If you're already, and their maximum, they give you, let's even go further than that. Let's say they give you 360 hours, because there's 3 different types of providers. There's one that has 264 maximum, like me. Then you have the ones that have protected supervision, which is 283 hours. And then you have the exemption providers that have to follow certain criteria. For example, they have to live in a rural area, which is like somewhere like far away. I just learned this word a while ago, so I'm not the smartest, I'm not the dumbest, but I am teachable. Like if you live in a ranch, and your home care provider lives an hour away from you, so that's living in a rural area. The other one is that your patient, let's say I'm a mom and I have 2 children, and my children are severely autistic, or I have grandparents that, let's say I'm a Filipino and I take care of my grandparents. Funny, huh? I could, well, we're close to being Filipino. Anyways, my grandparents can't communicate with other home care providers. And the third criteria is that they're so severely disabled, and the spectrum is wide, to the point where someone is going to come and help me take care of my children, and my per se, example, my children were like severely emotionally, behaviorally unadaptable to new people, to where the children start inflicting harm on themselves because they can't control what's going on in their head, and they can't grasp the idea that this is, oh, who's that? I'm used to my mommy taking care of me. Why is somebody coming in? Those are the 3 criterias. The 3 criterias: you live in a rural area, you have a barrier language, number 2, and number 3, the mental capacity of the recipient is so severe that it causes damage to themselves, which means that no one else can take care of these recipients. And that's a person that can work 360 hours a month. Now, this is where I have a problem, okay? Parents that have children that are working more than 360 hours a month, more than 283 hours a month, and well, that's pretty much it, because the 264 hours is just a regular home care provider like myself, okay? They're working more than 283 hours a month. They're working more than 360 hours a month. Now, don't get me wrong. There's over 672 hours in a month. How do I do that? Well, 24 hours times 7, 7 times 4 weeks, and then you add 2 to 3 days, depending. 7 times 4 is 28. That's 28 days. But then we got three more days, or 2 more days, depending on the month. So there's more than 672 hours a month. And the counties are, I'm going to say it like this, okay, assisting you because ultimately it is our responsibility to care for our children, and we have no control of how they're going to be, or our elderly. But this is a good program that the state has funded so that these individuals that are in this country, in this state, that qualify for these services because they want to help, can have them. Now, so everyone is in a special case. The problem I have is if parents are working this amount of time, which is more than what they're getting assistance with, 360 hours or 283. If you claim sick pay and you are in that bracket of over 160 hours, why would you give away just to claim your sick pay at a regular rate of $18 an hour? Why would you give away $9? This is LA County because LA County gets paid 18. Why would you give away when you're already working more than those hours that they give you, which is 283 or 360? Why do you want to lose money? So this is just my perspective, and this is what my opinion, and I give it to. It doesn't make any sense to me to lose money. So do you really need to claim those sick hours? I have never claimed those 6 hours. Why? Because of the same concept. And then on top of that, I work all the time. I'm constantly working. So to me, it's just an extra piece of paperwork that I have to wait. It's an extra check that, no, it's not an extra check. It's a lesser check that I'm going to get. So I already work hard enough for my money. Don't want to give it away. Let me read this comment. Hi, Miss Rubylicious. I love that name. I should say the same thing. I only get 15 hours from my son a month. Miss Lonnie, my son is autistic and I'm still on duty when I'm sick or not. I have my glasses. I'm sorry. My eyesight changed. I'm a single mom, so I just wanted to claim my hours before it resets because I didn't even know I had any. Hi, Miss Leilani. I love you. This is what I'm talking about, Miss Lonnie. This is exactly what I'm talking about. 15 hours. And I want to focus on sick time, okay? But you guys out there have my number. It's 562-281-3219. Miss Lonnie, I am so disgusted with the fact that you only have 15 hours. Now, is this 15 hours? Yeah, it's 15 hours a month. When we all know, I mean, I have 16 dogs, you guys. I took 3 of them out this morning. They were cool. They were chilling. And, I'm sitting in my office watching them through the windows and occasionally stop, listen. Hello, I'm talking to you. What are you doing? I'm watching you. Relax. The basic commands that they can hear me yelling out the window. Actually, I'm not yelling. I'm just talking sternly so they could hear me. And then I put those in, and then I brought 3 more out. And I'm bringing 3 out at a time. So eventually, at the end of the day, hopefully I'll be done because everybody needs their playtime, at least for an hour. It takes a lot of work, you guys. It takes a lot of work. And I'm not comparing, my dogs to your son, my dear. What I'm saying is the amount of work that it takes to pay attention to someone that needs constant supervision. So for them to give you 15 hours, there's something wrong there, sweetheart. There's something wrong there. And it makes me angry and it makes me upset. And what do I do with that anger and that upsetness? I take it and I'm like, okay, let's think. What can we do to increase your hours for your son? Not for you to get paid more, for the hours to be allocated to your son. And there's a process. So my phone number, my dear, is 562-281-3219. I need to know, and I thank you in advance if you, and everyone else for that matter. Thank you for initially trusting me and telling me every little thing that you have going on in your life, because in the long run, I am going to prove to you how correct you were in trusting me. I will use your case as a for other recipients or providers as an example, but I'll never let them know, oh yeah, Miss Lonnie, yada yada yada. Let me, can I call you back? So, oh nice. Forgive me. See, and I love this, you guys. It's like, hi, is this Sandra? I just reaching out in regards to IHSS timesheets. Was hoping you could help me out. Yeah, I can. I can. I am so grateful that I got all these things in my head, even though I look like a chola and whatever. I don't care. I'm pretty smart, and God is like super amazing, you guys. So I trust. I thank you guys in advance for trusting me. Um, but I'm willing to take the steps to work at showing you that I'm here to help you. So please, Lonnie, please. Here we go again with the glasses, right? Oh my God, Miss Nafisa. It's been so long. It's good to see you, sweetheart. Can you tell how happy I am? And see, I have not spoken to you in a very, very long time. And that's another curse to you guys, that I have an elephant's memory and I don't forget. So I love you. I love you. I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Basically, I need, so we have, I wanted to talk about sick time. I want to address you guys' issues. I want your questions, what it is that you guys don't understand about sick time, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. So I mentioned the parents, right, that take care of, that they're working around the clock. I had John here. John did not want to go home. John was living by himself and he did not want to go home. And once the retirement home released him, which I've done a video on that, it was all downhill, you guys, for John. And I knew it. John was there September, October, November, December. And in January, John decided to come and live with me 5 months later. And as a support to John, I was like, you know what, dude? He was having problems there. The staff, he's the first night I went, once I found him, because it was being kept from me because I was number 2 on his wish list. I was like, whatever, I don't care. At least I found him. I went in and I told him, John, these places are not very well kept, John. You have to pay a large amount of money in order to get good care, quality care. Now, I'm not saying all of them are the same, but the first night he had a problem. The next day I came in and he says, I was asking for water and the nurse told me to shut up. I don't even tell my dogs to shut up unless I'm really, really angry. And they actually know shut up. That's what they know. But they don't know shut up. They know be quiet. I said, really? So I went in there. Let me talk to your supervisor. Let me talk to the social worker. I went in there to advocate. And when I went in there to advocate, they did not like the fact that I knew what I was doing. They didn't like the fact that I knew how to defend myself. So I was a problem right off the bat. The next day I came in, another thing happened. And I went in and they said to me, being that you're number 2, if you continue to create problems for us, we're going to eliminate you. So I went back and I told John, hey, John, they don't like me here. I'm too much. I know too much for my own good. I don't want to jeopardize this, but it took them 5 months to deteriorate John's health to the point where when I brought him home, when I told him, whenever you get tired, John, here's my card, you give it to them, and they will now work for me. In the meantime, in the background, I was communicating with the doctors, and I was doing talking to the social worker, the HUD Association. I was just getting everything in place for John. I got him a doctor, his bed. He needed a hoist. I mean, I was working in the background for John. And then finally, John decided, you know what, I don't want to be here. And they threatened him, well, if you leave, it's against doctor's orders. And I looked at John and I said, I don't care. I got your doctor on my side. Don't worry about it, John. I'm going to take care of you. Well, he didn't want to leave. So the reason, and when I went back, excuse me, the social worker was like, well, we can give him this and this. And I said, no, no, you can't. And you're not doing this and this and that. And this is what you're going to do because you now work for me. A lot of people don't like that, but I was fed up with them because I saw the deterioration in John's. I mean, he lost about 40 pounds in 5 months that he was there. His knees came all the way up to his chest when he used to be able to at least walk on his own. So why am I saying this to you guys besides advocating for your recipients? I'm telling you this because when I brought John home, I had to take care of John. I had to take care of Chuck that was here with me. And I was working more than 264 hours a month and dealing with all the rest of the dilemmas and problems that were going on to keep this household going. So I don't think it's beneficial if it wasn't beneficial for me at the time. I could have claimed my 8 hours. It wasn't beneficial. This was 2019 because John died on March 2nd, 2 months after I got him. And I've always had my T's and my I's dotted, everything was normal. By the time Chuck died, which was the following year, I became desensitized to a certain point where it hurt, but I got to handle my business and I got to do what I got to do. And then you have police officers coming in and they're like, how come Sandra's not crying? How come Sandra is all calm, cool, collected? And I looked at that officer and I said, I've been through this. I've been through this already. I know how it is. Do your job. And when you leave, I'll mourn. And sometimes sorry, I well, it's a good thing I didn't put on my makeup right. Sometimes it takes a while to mourn. And the only way that I am able to shift the mourning of my friends and smile is to think of good thoughts because I gave them my 110% to take care of them. And that's the only way I can replace the good thought, the sadness. Um, so for me in that time, I could have claimed my sick leave. I didn't. I didn't claim any of my sick leave. It was just pointless. I'm sticking back to sick leave, right? Because I'll like super get distracted. So I want to clarify because everyone is trying really, really hard to claim those hours. And the misconception is that, oh, if I don't claim it, I'm going to lose it. You don't lose anything unless you claim it and you qualify for overtime. Then you lose something. Otherwise, it rolls over. Now, and in previous videos, I have also said, now, I've worked for companies because I've always worked, but in those companies, if you didn't take your sick time or your vacation pay, right? You would just tell your boss, well, can you just cash me out and pay me anyways? Because it accrues over time. Now that would be beneficial for the union to go out and fight the state and pay us out like any other employer. But no, these are baby steps. The union has to take credit for whatever they can take credit for. I went into the office. I did my taxes. That's another thing, you guys. I went to Vita. I went in. I'm having COVID. COVID was very difficult. COVID was very hard. A lot of people are still suffering from it. Well, the free programs have ended, you guys, because COVID is over, right? And people are still suffering. So I neglected my taxes. I didn't do my taxes. I've told you guys, go to TurboTax. TurboTax will help you do your taxes. There's more companies out there, but I've only used TurboTax, and I kind of know how to do my own taxes, which is pretty cool. Now I buy the disc, and say, here, let me use the disc. And I went and so now what they started doing is they took like $1,400 out of my checking account, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on here? So I went to I got hold of the bank, and sure enough, it's a tax levy. Well, it's my fault. I should have been responsible and done my taxes. So now they're taxing me, literally. But the thing is, I didn't do I don't know why I didn't do my 2019 taxes, and I did 20 and 21. And then I didn't do 22, and I missed the deadline for 23 because of what's going on. So I went into the IRS, and I found a place that does taxes for free, and I've shared this with you guys. It's called Vita, V as in Victor, I as in India, T as in Terry, and A as in Apple. And I submitted all of my W-2s, and I gave it to them on Wednesday, and sometime this week they're going to call me and say, hey, Sandra, come and pick up your taxes. They're done. And I'm going to pray and be like, Lord, please, I need some help. Hook it up. Do whatever you got to do. I'm responsible. If I got to pay, I'll pay. If I don't, I don't. Anyways, in that, I talked to the young lady, and they're directly across from the union, which I kind of knew already. They also help you with electricity and your gas. It's called the HEAP program. H as in Harry, E as in Eric, A as in Apple, and P as in Peter. And you can look them up. And I haven't applied for any of those for a very long time because I've been working, but maybe now I can start applying for them. Anyways, to each its own, okay? I'm not downing you. I'm not upping you. I'm just telling you, here's the information. Do something with it. In the Vita, under the IRS, you have Vita. And after talking to the young lady, I said, I want to do taxes. I love numbers. I sleep numbers. She says, go into the website, and they'll give you courses. And then the courses, they will give you a certificate, and then you can come and volunteer for the state and do taxes. So I'm really stoked about that one. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. But I went across the Vita tax place to the union, and it was open. And I walk in there, and of course nobody knows me. And I started asking questions about sick time. Well, membership was one of the young ladies that, very nice lady, by the way. Of course, that's because she doesn't know me. Um, she didn't know anything about, she didn't know anything about sick leave. But then I asked her about membership. So membership, when you go into the orientations, you they have a union representative there, and I did those orientations. Okay, and it was my job to convince the people that, hey, our union is good, join our union, we're only going to take 3% of your checkout on a monthly basis. In that time span that I was there at the union, I learned how to do the timesheets. I'm the one, Sandra Ayon is the one that bridged the gap with the social workers, with the counties. I started in Rancho Dominguez, District 77, which is now moved to Torrance. And I associated myself, and I'm Sandra Ayan. I'm calling from SEIU Local 2015. I have a provider here. This was when I was working there. After I stopped working there under their internship, this is just Sandra Ayan. Okay. I don't have an advocate's license. I don't have certificates for any of that, because once you get certificates and advocacy permits and yada yada, you charge I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of advocacy companies out there, you guys, that will take up to 40% of your income that you're receiving from the county for backed up timesheets. They charge you at least 40%, you guys, and do not do anything for you but talk to the social worker. I, on the other hand, am here for the relationship with you, and I teach you how to do your timesheets correctly if you qualify over 160 hours, and I teach you how to do them right. And I sing and I dance the same song for you every single time, every single month, until you get it. And my fee is 10% of your gross income. So it's up to you to push yourself. And I give you an incentive also. Sorry, the tears. Excuse me. I give you an incentive to, hey, you want to try it? Do it by yourself, and I'll charge you 5% now to check it for you. And if you qualify over the 160 hours, and I see something wrong, I tell you, well, you did it right. You're not going to get a violation this time, but you're missing $500. Would you like to keep that $500? And out of that $500, you probably have to pay me $200, which means you still keep an extra $300, and you learn where you made your mistake, so that next month, if you want to try again, you try again. And that's what I do. So you need to be careful, because ultimately the one that pays the broken dish is you, we say in Spanish. Just translating. My eyelashes. So recapping back to sick time. Everybody is unique. Everyone is different. No one is the same. So when you're putting information on Facebook, personal information about your son or your daughter or your grandparents, or can I go on vacation with my client? That's TMI, you guys, especially because you're reaching out to people you don't even know. Be vague. Excuse me. In my opinion, try to be vague as to what it is that you're asking, because they have detectives out there that go and they look at my YouTube channel and say, oh, Sandra said this. You know what? Let's go look at her Facebook page. Oh, she did that. Let's go look at her TikTok. I mean, there's some people now that are like crying. I've seen videos where they're crying about, oh, they were going to give me my green card, and I was partying and I drank too much, and And immigration got a hold of that video and they denied me because I was drinking. And no, that's not true. That's not true. Yeah, they saw you drinking. Of course they did. I mean, you put it out in social media for everybody to see, but that's not why they punished you. There's other reasons, and that particular person that did that video or any of the other creators on TikTok that commented on that video, no, we're in a country, we're in a place that searches for the truth. And if you lie, you're going to get caught lying. So sometimes you see me like roll my eyes up. Like earlier, I said, oops, I shouldn't have said that. You know, I was going to name one of the advocacy groups that help you. I love quotations. I'm sorry. Supposedly help you. And I've seen women lose, you know, that have their kids and they take care of them. And I've seen them lose. One lady got $22,000. The company, the advocacy group that helped her, took 12,000 of that, and they didn't help her do her timesheets. They didn't teach her anything. All they did was get on the phone, social worker, and no, she qualifies for X amount of blah blah, and that's all they did. And they took $12,000 out of her money that she was getting back. So when she reached to me, and they made her sign a contract. When she reached to me, I'm like, sweetheart, if I can make you this amount of money, my fee's 10%. Well, at that point, she wasn't willing to pay anybody else because they already took out that chunk. And I don't even know how she did, to be honest with you, because she didn't call me back. Sorry, I just heard my friend. Give me a second. Okay. So, well, oh, that's the mirror back there. So just be careful. To recap on you know, on who helps you. To recap on the sick leave hours, I've given you guys a couple of examples. You know, I mean, see if it's beneficial for you or not. The fiscal year starts July 1st, and it ends June 30th. Okay. Analyze. I hope this video, please, you know, guys, comment, like, subscribe, share this video, because someone needs it. Someone needs to hear this. And I'm sure that my phone just rang. You guys see it's always off, but I know who's calling and I know who's texting. It has to read. There's a lot of confused people out there. I also asked so when I asked about sick leave, they didn't know. And they were actually on the same page as I am, where I'm telling you guys, you need to have 100 hours accrued of work time if you're a new provider. And then you have to have one or two criterias. One is you work 200 hours, or the second criteria is 60 days, whichever comes first. Then you qualify for your, now, back then it was 8 hours. Now it's 24 hours of sick time. So you have to evaluate and you have to check and see, well, you know, what's in my best interest. Now, if you have a client that you work for, then again, like I mentioned, the relationship you have between your client. I don't like just dropping the ball on people. I like to give them notice. I like to tell them what's going on, because they, especially with people that depend on us as home care providers, I think it's unfair. I would not like someone to do that to me, which it's been done, which probably why I'm a little bit more conscientious. But you can call your employer in the morning and tell them, I'm not coming in today and I'm taking 8 hours of sick leave. You figure it out. But if you have that kind of a heart, I don't think you should be a home care provider, you know, in my opinion. My skills are people skills. I have grown quite a bit. This year has been very, very drastic, very changing. I have learned not to judge as minimal as I used to judge because I've been judged all my life. I told you guys that I am, I don't know if many of you guys know, but here, let's do this. So the fiscal year starts July 1st and it ends June 30th. That is a fiscal year. I've told you guys about the requirements where you have to have 100 hours. And then after the 100 hours, you have to have 200 hours or 60 days, whichever comes first. You cannot claim any hours that you claimed for sick leave because you have to respect the recipient's hours. But if they're authorized on a weekly basis, but if there is hours that you did not work. For example, if she has, let's just say a recipient has 30 hours a week, right? So you go ahead and you worked the 22 hours and then 8 hours that week of sick leave. That's the 30 hours. That's it. Even if they have a backup provider that comes and works those 8 hours, you can't claim more than that. That's all you can claim. But let's say you worked 20 hours and now you're going to take 8 hours of sick leave. That's 28 hours. Then you make arrangements with your recipient to come in and work the other 2 hours because you're allowed 30 per week. And that's literally how it works. The form the form that you need to claim sick leave is in the electronic timesheet portal under financials, okay? Or you can order the form. You can do it electronically on the system or you can order the form, and the form number is labeled SOC, which is Sam Oscar Charlie 2302. That's the form number. And you can go to the CDSS website, which is the California Department of Social Services, and look under IHSS and look under forms. Sometimes it says, if I remember correctly, it says list forms by program or just forms. I would go to listing the forms by program so you can go straight to IHSS. And then they're in numerical order. So you can look for all kinds of forms on there that are labeled SOC, Sam Oscar Charlie, and then the form number. Like the one to get not protective supervision, the one to get and to be an authorized representative for your client, which means that now the social worker has to talk to you instead of the recipient, because your recipient's like, I don't want to deal with them. Sandra, here you go. You take care of them, which has been the case with me and my clients is SOC 839. That makes me the authorized representative. The form for travel time, for you to qualify for travel time, and there's so many people that are missing so much money when it comes to travel time, is SOC 2255. I'm not going to tell you guys that I have all those forms in my head, but I have quite a bit of forms in my head, so look on the CDSS website, okay, and find the program. Oh, the ambulance just passed by. My babies are howling. I'm like, I gotta pay attention to them. I know their barks and their howls, and they're my kids, so I take care of my kids. There's so much money that's being missed with travel time, you guys. I mean, I assist with that as well. I assist you guys, and everything has a price. Tell me, what is it that you want? I'll tell you, well, I'll charge you this much. I'll do it like this because it takes time for me. These videos take time, and I'm hungry, and I wanna eat, and my shrimp's getting cold. So let's see here, and let's see if you should do a video on share a cost. Share a cost is just terrible. I have done videos on share a cost. Um, I need to do actually upgrade, not upgrade, but do a more recent video. The very first video that I did, God, I can't even remember when, it's still the most popular, you guys. This concept that I'm telling you guys about overtime, I've described it in a video that I did labeled uh, July 2023. It's a year old. Overtime, take a look at that one. And that one will teach you guys what I mean by overtime. Um, I want to start coming on live a little bit more. I want to do little TikToks here and there. I am also, I told mentioned to you guys, this year has been a very, very enlightening year. It's changed me quite a bit. Not only, I think, not only did I end up sponsoring a business in TJ, which I help do the financials and I assist as much as I can. Um, so that they can make a living out in TJ. It's called Yankees Donuts, you guys. They're the best donuts. I know I've lost 60 pounds in the past year, but it is because of restraint. So instead of eating a donut a day, I eat like one donut a week, maybe one every 2 weeks, because they're so good and it's a treat. And I actually like me 60 pounds lighter, another 50 pounds, and I'll end up doing the surgeries and just remove all the excess skin so that I can feel better about myself. I am actually in a wheelchair. I love these wheelchairs. Let me roll back and see if you guys can see it. Oh, my purse, my purse, my purse. I'm not in a wheelchair because, see my wheelchair? I'm not in a wheelchair. Oh, I think I got the brake on because I'm sick. I'm in a wheelchair because I have bone spurs and sometimes I could walk and sometimes I can't walk. Sometimes I'm in crutches. Um, my doctor has authorized it for me. I don't need the wheelchair. I mean, I can get up and be mobile, but since I lost those 60 pounds, you guys, my feet don't hurt, my knees don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt. Um, I prayed for my arm and I applied some 96 proof alcohol with the seeds of the aguacate, the avocado, and just chopped them up. And that's what I spray. I mean, a lot of natural stuff. Um, I feel better. I'm getting better. And I want to lose another 50 pounds just so I could be a lot lighter. I run, right? Didn't run before. It hurt. I can run now. Well, okay, I'm still rolling a little bit, but who cares? I'm trying. I'm trying. So after I lose another 50 pounds, get down to like 150. My goal was 180. I haven't weighed 204 pounds since 2004, 2003. I am just super stoked. And I have a lot, part of the way that I lost all this weight was with the injections of Zempic. I literally had to buy those in TJ. They were 350, pop. A needle was $350. And my doctor saw that I started losing and um, gave me, she approved Saxenda, but they cut my Medi-Cal off. Taxes came in. Um, the people that support the vendor, Antonio, that lives around the corner from my house, still come and harass me in my home. They throw bottles and eggs and they, taunt my dogs. What else? Let's see. We got taxes. We got the tamalero. Of course, there is justice because the Alex Eden Enamorado is still in jail since December 13th. And, there's repercussions on that one. So, but I've been hit with those things. And my home is for sale. My landlord passed away. And everything that happens, I look at it as an opportunity So I prayed for a home that would have a backyard, to take my dogs. And um, it's not feasible. It's not doable. I cannot take all of my animals with me. I can take three. And I'm praying for homes for my dogs. But I have a beautiful home now that, even though, you know, my neighbor right now is having a yard sale, and when she saw me, she literally, I pull up into my driveway, rent's paid. It's very expensive to get a home. I just realized that. I mean, I've been living in this home for 29 years, so I don't know I didn't know what you guys went through. When I say you guys, was because I haven't moved in 29 years. I didn't know what people in general went through to try to acquire the simplicity of a roof over your head, because I have been blessed with a roof over my head for 29 years. So now I'm, eh, you know, in the same, almost the same position. It's just a little different for me. So everything that happens to you, there's an opportunity, and I'm looking at that same opportunity here. I'm like, you know what, Lord, if you want me to keep the house, I'll keep the house. If you want me to move, I'll move. But part of the reason that I haven't done very many videos is because of that, you guys. And even then, I wake up in the morning and I listen to some, whether it's like inspiring quotes. um Stoicism is a great way of not letting things happen that happen outside your circle affect you, because you can only control yourself. I'm, needless to say, I'm a little bit more conscientious of what I say to other people. um with that also comes the bad part, where in a sense I'm traumatized, because what was done to me with that lynch mob of over 200 people to come and attack me and my home and my safety. And it's been 10 months. It'll be a year in August, which is still constant and continuing. I'm just tired. I'm tired. So I don't trust as many people as I should. I still have faith, and I still ask God, you know what, Lord, just show me what I can do. And He's been putting this heavily in my heart to get on this, regardless of what I look like, and tell you guys there's a lot of false information on sick leave. Please, please, please go back to the basics. Please don't make, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the computer. Please don't make any mistakes. These violations are not funny. You know, my phone number is on the internet for you guys to call me and text me and ask me a question here and there. What is this? And depending on the time, I'll give you guys a my answer, my honest answer. And I put everything together, and then I mix it up in my head, and then I come up with what's right, what's wrong, what could happen, what will happen, your options, your pros, your cons, and I just tell you guys. So despite the fact that there's like 100 million things going on in my head, and 1,000, 10,000 people attacking constantly, I hold no grudges against anyone. I'm just like, you know what, Lord, why don't you bless them, and make sure that they have their path is clear, protect them, let them have a happy day, don't let them get angry, give them. That's the kind of person I'm turning into, you guys. um in the Bible it says we must turn a cheek, right? Well, I also found out that when you get smacked, you don't turn your cheek so you can get smacked again. You turn your cheek so you could turn around and walk away, because you're not anyone's punching bag. So I have thought about videos, and it's easier to put them on TikTok, but I need to come back and be faithful and loyal to my YouTube channel followers. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Questions, comments, I get to them. If I can help you better your situation in life as far as this program is concerned, let me know. If you're willing to do the work, okay? Because every time someone calls me or texts me, and I hate to tell you guys this, but I have to. I have to. Because even in the Bible, it says, help yourself and I will help you. Don't know where, because I'm not all, a Bible thumper. What I do is I listen to the sermon. I try not to think of the place where it was. I listen to the sermon. I apply it to myself. And when time comes and I see an opportunity to share it with someone that needs it, that's what I do. So whenever, for example, this text message that just came in, right? I read it to you guys. This particular person needs some help. Okay, well, great. They're reaching out to me because they need help. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer you. I'm going to listen to your story. And then I'm going to give you some homework. And you go and do your homework. And then I'm going to tell you, when you're done with your homework, come back to me. Mind you, you're just one person. But there's hundreds and hundreds of people that are reaching out to me. Like Miss Nafisa, share a cost. Share a cost is a joke. It's not fair. Chuck was getting $2,000 a month in Social Security, but I was paying $3,100 a month to take care of him 8 hours a day. It was costing me $100 a day to take care of him. And then I had to come and take care of Chuck. So I had to figure out a way of making money. And according to the county, $2,000 of retirement money was too much for Chuck to, Chuck had to have a share cost because the county decided that it was too much money that he was making. $1,000 is okay for him to make, but $2,000 was too much. Well, if I'm paying $3,100 a month to have him taken care of, and it's not enough already, how did Chuck pay rent? How did Chuck pay lights? How did Chuck pay gas? How did Chuck get his food when they gave him $11 in food stamps a month? How did Chuck, Chuck didn't even pay me. There was not enough money there. But share cost is I don't think it's funny. They need to come up with a better solution, because right now, literally, I had to fork out, and this is where I was in previous videos. I told you guys, this is a little TMI, okay? We need to save. We need to save. We need to save. We need to save. It was an amazing feeling for me to say to my new landlord, here you go, man. Here's your money that you're asking for. It was over $13,000, you guys. What it cost me to afford my home. Over $13,000. Who has that kind of money saved? Especially someone like me that, lives in the ghetto and, I was so proud of myself. I didn't have to ask my mom. I didn't have to ask my dad. I didn't have to ask my brother. I didn't have to ask my sons. I didn't have to ask anyone to help me. I helped myself. So why do I say this? Because I've gotten phone calls. I've gotten comments from, certain people that are angry because they're like, they even bashed me. Hundreds. I have so many messages and text messages and phone calls of people just aggravating me that I screenshotted or I saved, because of the activist, that were really nasty and mean to me. Really, really nasty. And I'm saying nasty and mean because I want to be nice. But at another given date, he even used some of my videos when the activist Alex Enamorado used one of my videos where, come on, you guys, I'm a gangster, okay? my core is a gangster, but I'm also saved and I'm also 49 years old. So stop playing these nonsense games. Um, I'm too old for them. So we need to grow, we need to expand, we need to get better. But I look like what I look like, and I'm not a gold coin for everybody to like me. So all I know is what I'm trying to do is help you guys try to learn how this system of IHSS works. So if you guys need any help, my phone number is 562-281-3219. Look for me on TikTok. You'll find me under, yeah, guess what? La Moonshine. That's my TikTok name. La Moonshine 18. That's my TikTok name. Go find me. There'll be little videos there. You know, comment, like, subscribe, share it with people. Whatever it is that I can do to assist you guys, I'm here to help you. I keep it real. I don't beat around the bush. I tell you exactly what's going to happen. I tell you what you could do. But when I give you homework to do your homework to better your life. Do it to help yourself. Come back and tell me, Sandra, I did my homework here. What do we do now? Don't expect me. Like, there's a particular young lady, so nasty, you guys. I mean, I have mental issues. I'm not going to deny. I know I have mental issues. Who doesn't? And actually, when I got diagnosed, because I wanted to get diagnosed, like, what's wrong with me, right? So many people tell you there's something wrong with you. What's wrong with me? I need to find out. One of the therapists, one of the very few therapists, she was a student. She was learning. She was a great student. I was one of her last cases. She said that there wasn't anything wrong with me. She went back and she took a report to her supervisor that was over watching her, and the supervisor said, no, there has to be something wrong with her. You need to document on there that she has depression, anxiety. We all have depression. We all have anxiety. We all fight our battles within me. I've been on here for over an hour and you guys haven't seen me pick up a cigarette. Well, my cigarettes are right there. I want to smoke a cigarette. My food's right there. I want to eat my food, but I want to focus on you guys. So there's constant battles that I've surrendered to that I'm like, I'm not doing that. That can wait. But when she went back, she gave him a diagnosis of what was wrong with me. And I love her because she's such a smart cookie. She she picked up her book. I want to say DHMS, DCC something. It's a therapist book. She picked up her book and she found a diagnosis for me. And the diagnosis for me was literally everyday living. As I mentioned, we have depression. We have, I don't like it when this kid does this. I hear my dog barking. Can you please check why the dogs are barking? Yeah, I can hear him. It's in the back in the alley. We all have stuff that we have to deal with. We all have struggles that we have to go through. So don't let none of those struggles get to you. Take care of your mental health. I have a lot of stuff that I have to deal with. I need to start moving, and that house is empty over there, and I don't know where to start. Well, I have 29 years of living here, and my landlord is no longer here, and he was like my father, and I loved him very, very much. He was a great man. No one helped me as much as he has helped me, and I miss him. But it's time to move forward and keep moving on. There's a lot of stuff that you guys are going through. Do not neglect your mental health. It's normal, and if I can help in any way to alleviate some of the financial burdens, especially with IHSS, and I can increase your income and teach you how to do this correctly, do not hesitate. Do not hesitate. But if I give you homework, go help yourself. Don't sit there and wait for me. Be proactive and go out and find yourself some help. My teeth are not my teeth. My hair color is not red. My nails are not this long. My face is starting to sag from the weight loss. I could see it. I have to help myself. I choose to eat. This is noodles. I like seafood. I love shrimp. But I'm choosing to eat better so I can get better. No one helped me, you guys. I had to do it myself. They told me use Ozempic. I did. I spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on Ozempic. And you know what? I probably would all over again to feel the way that I feel. So if you guys need me, if you guys have any questions on how the IHSS program runs, if you want to call me and just cry to me, I'm going to listen and I will always give you the best advice that I possibly can. Right now, I think it's unfair that there's people that are giving false information. I went straight to the county. I asked the head honchos, hey, explain this to me. Pretend I don't know what's going on. Is it true that we can claim all of our hours for that monthly allowed hours for my recipient and claim my 24 hours of sick leave? No, no, you can't. You have to follow the rules for sick leave. So it's been in my heart to put this out. It's been in my heart to do another video on my board. I want to do another. It's consuming, but I'm gonna try. It's I don't edit, I don't cut, I don't know how to do any of that stuff. Hopefully my kids are gonna start helping me now with this YouTube channel and TikTok. But if you guys have questions, my phone number's here. You know what? I think I can actually type it in. Here we go. 562-281-3219. Yay, my phone number. I can't even type with these long nails. I don't care. What is that? A piece of hair? Yep. My baby hair. Baby hair. So there's my phone number. You guys can keep it, save it, call me. I love you guys. Any questions on, keep looking at my videos. I know I'm lengthy, but everything has something to do with IHSS, what I'm mentioning to you guys. So comment, like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for replaying. If you're out there, just shoot your questions at me, you guys. Give me some time to answer. I do get back to you guys, and I'm here to help. So I'm gonna finish my food, and I'm gonna go see why my puppies were barking, my babies. And if you guys need good dogs, let me know. Let me know. They just need a place to run and people to love them, because I don't know. I believe and I have faith, and God is amazing, and He's going to bring someone forward. So God bless you guys. 562-281-3219. Sandra Ayon, your home care provider. I love you. You guys be good and take care. Bye.